Hi guys, David here. In today's video, I'm going to show you some easy to make woodworking jigs that you should know about. Okay, so the first jig I want to show you are these very simple things. Now, the only name I have for them, I call them legs. And I use them for many things, but the main thing I'm using them for is when I'm clamping up wood. So let's just see, I've got all different sizes. If I'm clamping up tabletops or just even a small drawer front or something, I use these clamps, and I'm going to show you now how to use them. Okay, so we're usually making jigs to make our life easier and to solve all sorts of problems. So this is a problem you might have. You've got some boards, they've been dimensioned, maybe you bought dimensioned lumber, maybe you have a planer, or maybe you planed them by hand, but they're ready to be glued up into a wider board. So now, okay, I've got my wood, I've got my clamps, and I put my clamps on the wood, and now I can't turn the handle. And, oh, okay, I just about managed to close this one up, and then I put the other one on, and I need to... And now it's going to glue to the table because all the glue's dripping out the bottom, and it's a bit of a problem. And if I put all my clamps on the top, it also tends to bow the work upwards. So now I want to put a clamp underneath. It's not really very comfortable. Maybe I could just about do it at a push like this and close this clamp up, and it's crooked and not very comfortable. Okay, so this is the solution. This is what I use these legs for. I can arrange my boards however I want them and flip them around for the most attractive side. This is some wormy oak, very old pieces of wood these. I can line them all up, and now I can put a clamp underneath. I can put clamps on the top. And I know that everything's flat and straight because my legs are flat and straight. And when I finish gluing up, I can just pick up this whole assembly. If I close my clamps up a bit tighter, I can pick up this whole assembly and go and place it on the floor or on the table and continue to use the legs. Another thing you might want to consider if you're making legs like this, the glue's dripping out the bottom. You don't want to glue your workpiece to the legs. That would be a minor disaster. So the solution to that problem, so that your workpiece doesn't glue up on the jig, is packing tape. I use packing tape all the time. So you can, these have got packing tape on them. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but basically you just take some tape, put it on your legs, and then your workpiece won't stick to the legs. Okay, so this is how I make those legs. You're going to need two pieces of wood, approximately the same size. And we're going to stand one piece on the other piece in the middle, there or thereabouts. Now I'm going to take a pencil and draw two lines so I know where to place this piece. I'm going to take a drill and drill some holes through here. Now I don't want to drill into my table, so I'm going to put a piece of scrap wood underneath. So I'm just going to place this piece of scrap wood underneath so I don't drill holes into the table. Okay, so now I've drilled my holes and countersink them. I'm going to take a couple of screws. You can use nails if you like. I'm going to put my screws here, just so the tips are just pointing out. I'm going to lay this on top of the screws, like so. And there you go. That's how you make yourself a leg. And don't forget to to put some packing tape on the top. As you see, I make these legs in all different lengths. I've got short ones, and as you can also see, they've gone through an awful lot of use. These are covered in glue. It could be 15 or 20 years old, I don't remember, but I've been using them constantly, and I think it's one of the most frequently used jigs in my shop, if you can call this a jig or an aid. This is one that I highly recommend. It'll make your life much easier. Okay, now here's another very difficult to make jig. You might struggle with this one. No, I'm just kidding. These are just random pieces of wood that I know have got at least one straight edge on them. And on that straight edge, I've put packing tape. And these are called cauls. What are cauls and why do we use them? So I'm going to show you now. So now, using my handy legs, I start to glue up a board. Now what happens when everything's covered in glue, it lubricates these edges and they tend to slip and slide, and sometimes you'll have a difficulty getting everything at the same level. One board pops up, one board pops down, maybe one board's got a bit of a bow and you're trying to push it down, and you have a lot of difficulty getting these level on the top and the board flat. So before you put on these clamps to apply pressure on the jointed edge, we use cauls. And like I said, it's just some piece of wood with a straight edge and packing tape on it. I put one caul underneath and one caul above, like this. And then with a smaller clamp, I sandwich the work between the cauls, like so. Then I can put another pair over here. I could put another pair over here. Once you've got your cauls on, you can clamp them up really tight, because the sideways pressure from the larger clamps will have no difficulty closing the boards together. We could really do with another one here. And then when you put on your bigger clamps like this, it stays flat and straight. We don't have any sliding around problems. And also, I can even put all the clamps on one side. I can put all the clamps on the top. Generally speaking, you don't want to do this, but once you've got cauls, the board will stay flat. If you just put all your clamps on the top and you don't have any cauls, it's going to bow. You're going to get a cup like this in the workpiece. So cauls keep everything level and keep it flat and straight. So there we are. Great things, cauls and packing tape again, so they don't glue to the workpiece. Well guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned something new. Thanks for hanging on till the end, and I'll see you in the next video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and if you ring that little bell, you'll get notifications every time I put up a new video. I'm posting videos every week. All the best. Bye for now.